residents of Lekki, of Ibeju, of Orile, Jora, Papa Mushi, Festac, Ojo, Ajat, Agbara, and several other parts, covered by the Eco Electricity Distribution Company. Well, welcome on board. Let's delve into a critical discussion. The electricity concerns in this settlement in Lagos, shining a spotlight this morning on the challenges you face by on a daily basis, and would explore potential solutions as well. So join the conversation. Let's navigate through the intricacies of power access and the impact of this issue around electricity on your daily life and the other things that come in between. We have this morning joining the conversation very special guest, you know what I mean, right? Very special guest in the building, and that's because this guest is special because aside the fact that his part is a major stakeholder in this sector, he's here to address your concerns. He's here to just tell you what to do if you have this particular concern, you've been experiencing this and experiencing that. This entire conversation is essentially about you and how they can serve you better. We have this morning the General Manager, Corporate Communications and Strategy, Eco Electricity Company, Distribution Company, what you call the EKEDC, right? Babatunde Lasaki. Very good morning to you, and welcome to the Northern Morning Show.
Thank you for having me, Kingsley, and good morning, Lagos.
Yes, good morning, Kingsley. Bassey is my name. Legal Counsel Felix, who's on my hair, also present on the show. Don't worry, General Manager. The Legal Counsel is not here to intimidate you. He's just going to be here to address some, those concerns when it comes to some of the legal perspectives to this conversation. Yes, we say one welcome again. This is your first time in the studio here.
Yeah, this is my first time in Law FM.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Our neighbors, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. And you're my customer as well.
There you go. There you go. We have concerns too, so we shared our concerns too with you on the show. But yes, Lagos, you can be part of the conversation. 0909-555-1039 is the number to call, and 0703-2277-338. We would like to hear if you have concerns. Just join in and let's know what you have to say. All right, then let's very quickly get straight to what we have to do this morning. I will just begin first with usually, and this is the focus of the conversation, right? We'll discuss the concerns of customers. But usually when we have conversations like this, we are too focused on what service you are rendering to the customer. That's why you're in business, right? Render services. But then there are challenges that you experience in rendering this service. So we'd like to flip the script and begin with those challenges. Let's understand some of the things that you go through and the hurdles that you have to cross on a daily basis to serve your customers well.
Thank you very much, Kingsley, again. I actually like this question because we cannot overemphasize the fact that the NESI, that is Nigeria Electricity Supply Industry, is actually a value chain. But majority of customers, whether literate or those who are not illiterate, what it always says that NEPA, that is, they always refer to the distribution company. The reason being that distribution companies are actually the one that interfaces with the end users, that is the customers, and we are also the one responsible for actually collecting payment for all the other value chain partners. So the value chain actually starts from the GenCos, that is the generating company. These are the people that actually generate the energy that we eventually get and distribute to the end users. When they generate that, they now put it to the national grid. The national grid get that, and then the transmission company of Nigeria, which we call TCN, that is the only partner in the value chain that is still only owned by government. They now wield that energy and distribute it according to availability to different. We have 12 distribution companies in Nigeria now. They distribute that to, wield that to the distribution companies, and then the distribution companies now will distribute to customers, the end users, and then in turn we collect the revenue for the rest of the other two partners, the wheeling charges as well as the market obligation for the generating companies. So most of the time people say, oh, discos, NEPAs, NEPA, you are not giving us light. You cannot give what you don't have. It's just like I have a mobile phone.
Yeah.
I loaded my mobile phone with airtime, but there's a challenge with the MTN facility.
Yeah.
Even though I have recharge, I have the airtime on my phone, but because of the challenges at the extreme end, I won't be able to call.
Yeah.
Or at times, I've run out of airtime on my phone, and I wanted to recharge. I bought a token recharge for my phone, but because of challenges, maybe network challenge, I'm unable to load, and you keep trying, you won't load. So these are some of the challenges we have. That is one of those challenges is that most time, like in Nigeria today, the maximum megawatts generation we've been able to do as a nation is about 5,000 megawatts. That's the maximum for the whole of the country. And as a disco, I serve the southern Lagos, which is actually higher demand, because that's where we have the Lekkis, the Surulere, the Lagos Island, the Ibeju. These are heavily populated environment that needs a lot of power. But the maximum I've ever gotten in the last few years is actually about 600 megawatts. 600 megawatts.
Out of the, let's say, 5,000.
The 5,000, because we are going to distribute that across the 12 discos. So, and you bear in mind that some discos actually serve 3-4 states. Abuja disco, for instance, serve 4 states. Enugu disco serve almost the entire of the eastern, southeast. The same thing. So Lagos, I get 600, maybe Ikeja get maybe another 600 or 700. So, and when I get 600, this is the total megawatt that I have that I will distribute to the whole of my entire customer.
So you're saying that this amount of electricity that you get is why you now consider the areas you cover and distribute amongst these customers there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let me break it down so that customers and people listening will actually understand.
Yeah.
Let's take, for instance, I have 100 staff working with me, and the total amount we are able to generate for salary payment, maybe it's 100,000, and I have 100 staff, and I look at this. This staff, they are on different grade, just like we have different bands. So, and I have 100,000 to pay, and I need to pay all the 100 staff. What I will resort to that, I need to break it down. So, okay, maybe those who are on grade manager and above, I will set aside 60 naira for them. The rest, I'll set aside 40 naira for them. And then I'll manage it. It's still not enough, but we just have to manage it that way. That is the way it works.
Maybe it's a good time to also pop this question. What's the size of your customers, in terms of numbers?
Well, customers in distribution companies are actually decided by the number of households. In a code today, the population of my customer is less than 700,000 households. It's about 690,000 households. When I say household, it means that each building within my network is about 690,000. So one household might have maybe 200 people living there. So, but I have about 690,000 households under my network.
And for clarity's sake, what part of Lagos is under your network?
Southern Lagos.
Southern
Southern Lagos and some part of Ogun State, which is Agbara. So Southern Lagos start from Mushin, and then come Surulere, cover some parts of Yaba, and then you come to Apapa, Ijora, and then you move to Badia, and then you come to Surulere, you come to Lagos Island, and then you move the VI, Lekki, Aja, Ibeju. That is it.
Ekpe? Do you cover it?
I don't cover it.
Oh, okay. All right. So you've heard those areas mentioned. If you live there, it means that your power distribution company is a co-disco, and you need to, if you have challenges, well, You get the chance to call in just a moment. If you like, take a pen and a paper and write your challenges, list them. The general manager in charge of communications and strategy, Babatunde Lasaki, is right here. He's here to respond to your questions and your concerns. General manager, hope you're ready for this course already coming in. And so let's begin with this ones before we go to other questions we've got for you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, KJ.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Counsel.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to your guests.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. I know there is a lot of complaints from even the disco themselves to we the customers, and from customers also to the disco. There's a lot of complaints. Then, aspect of all this, we can see what things out. First thing I almost believe there is loss of energy. Waste of energy is the main cause of all these problems we are having in terms of distribution. Because when you distribute, you find out that even the energy that is distributed to these people, we are not using those money. Most of them are going waste. That's about the number two. I beg to disagree with you with the figure of the southern, because if underestimated, I'm sure of that. All those that you mentioned, you have about 600 and something households. I beg to disagree with that. That figure is not work. So these are part of what we need to do, so that we'll be able to know the exact thing what we have to do for everybody to have to enjoy electricity.
All right.
To him and appear at the right time.
Thanks for your contribution. It's interesting how you would question, an organization who say this is the number that was serving. But I want to respond to that.
The caller might actually be right in the sense that, you see, when I say I have 690,000 customers, that is as at the last time I did my customer enumeration. Customers households keep coming up, buildings keep springing up, and then you need to continually do your enumeration to capture customers under your franchise area. It's just like in Nigeria today, we don't have some people under the tax net, but we keep doing enumeration to say, okay, this person, as at the last time we did the enumeration, maybe he was a student, but now he's now working, he earns and he needs to pay tax. The same way with EKEDC. Maybe in a certain street, as at the last time I did my enumeration, we have about 100 households. And within the last few months, about 5 other buildings have been erected on that street. So that's an additional 5. But maybe they are yet to be connected to my network. So I don't see them as my customers yet. So that explains that.
Interesting. Let's take one more before we get back to these questions. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name?
I would like to remain anonymous if you don't mind.
No problem, Mr. Anonymous. Okay. Your question or concern?
Yeah, I have like 2 concerns basically.
One.
So I happen to manage a property in Oneru.
Okay.
So there's a particular meter is reading on minus. So on negative, we cannot load cards, but it keeps giving us, it keeps debiting us kind of. So we don't understand how to solve that. That's one. Secondly, I actually live in Jack Country in Lekki here. For the past 5 months, we've not had light.
5 months.
You know, when people complain about heat in Nigeria, they say the heat is whatever times 100 or whatever it is. But there's a place in this Lagos, let's say Jack Country Estate. We've been there for 5 months without light. Imagine the heat, you're buying fuel, cost of fuel and all the rest. You're buying fuel for 5 months. So what is the matter? We need some contribution. Actually, they taxed us to make some contribution, which we did. To the best of my knowledge, I think about 8 million or so. I'm not sure we get. But till now, we have promises upon promises. Mr. GM, I'm sorry to say, I don't know if you can shed more light on this. I really appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Anonymous, for your concern. The General Manager of Babatunde Lasaki is here for this purpose. Let's note that and take this one for,
Hello.
more questions. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Thomas, calling from Victoria Island.
You're welcome, Thomas.
Yeah, I want to talk on the highest estimated bidding that NEPA bring for us. And the day I lost my credibility in these people was the day where I'm working, NEPA will bring the high cost of the highest estimated bidding. So my house is like okay, no, let's take it for instance that it's number 20 days. Why the next bidding is 21, so it's 20 days. My uncle is working there. Every month we're having 200 and something, 300 and something thousand. my uncle's place they are having less fee. So I asked my uncle, how money that do you get to this? My uncle told me that I should talk to my HR and my madam to negotiate the fee with his account officer. That they have settled, they negotiated their own deal with the account officer. So whenever, if never, their deal will not pass 100,000 naira. So anytime that they bring a deposit for them and their deal is 50,000, they will give the account officer 50,000 naira cash or in transfer. So their deal will never pass. So anytime they bring it to 50,000 naira, they will give you 20,000. If it's 10,000 naira, if their deal is 10,000, they will give you 90,000 naira. So I went and met my madam. I talked to my madam. My madam said, okay, I should call the account officer. I called the account officer. And my madam tried to negotiate with them. I didn't know how they end up before they will later got the letter without you will stop using estimated billing again. So you see, something that I'm telling you is not something that somebody will say. If they want me to, guy in the office, your get to the office, they want, I will just take you to that building up to today. In the same thing they are receiving today, they are not. Almost houses on that street are having meters, but that very place is not having a meter.
All right.
So I have lost my credibility. If you want, I will take him there and bring out and call the account officer for him. You work here in Bassey here. In their branch in Bassey here. And it's my uncle that work with that person is not something that I hear from somebody, it's something that I know very well.
Mr. Thomas, it is time for him to respond. So let's talk about that. Okay, so first let's address the concern of Mr. Anonymous. First, no power around Jakonde. He wasn't exactly specific for 5 months now. Are you aware of such?
Yeah, Mr. Anonymous, I would really like to empathize with the residents of Jakonde. It is not really as if it is a nature to just keep our customers in the dark. Because our, what do I call it? We are in business to empower the quality of lives of our customer. And as you all know, if we don't sell energy to our customers, we won't get revenue and we won't stay in the business. So it is in our best interest that we provide services to our customers so that in turn, they can actually pay for those services and we can stay in business. However, as a business entity, you are in business to actually break even and to even get a return on the investment you've actually invested in that business. You realize that distribution companies are private businesses now, and private individuals invested money into acquiring these facilities so that they can return some level of money to those who invested, as well as be able to pay their staff so that the staff can in turn be able to feed their families and stay afloat. So that we can continue to have enough resources to be able to maintain the assets and infrastructure of the organization so that the customers will be able to serve them. Because if the assets and infrastructure are not maintained, at some point they will go obsolete and then we won't be able to serve the customers. So the issue with Jakonde Estate was that for over a very long period of time, there was issue of debt, accumulated debt to the tunes of millions of naira. And after various entreaties, letters written to them, engagement with the community leaders as well as CDA's chairman around that area, when we're not getting any positive responses, we had no choice than to disconnect the transformers serving them. In Jakonde Estate, they have 7 transformers serving them. So we disconnected them. After we disconnected them, some of the representatives came to us and they said, okay, we are ready to make payments now. Okay, you are owing XYZ amount. Before we can reconnect you, you need to pay at least minimum of 50% of that debt. And then you write to us payment plan to defray the other 50%. Okay, some certain member of the community say, okay, we are ready to pay. They made some payment, and then we connected 2 of the 7 transformers. Right as we speak, those customers under those 2 transformers are enjoying.
Some parts of Jakonde have power.
Yes. But the remaining 5 transformers, unfortunately, during the period where they were disconnected, it's easier for vandals to vandalize your assets when it was not energized. And maybe people don't realize one of the obligations of customers is that you must have vigilant protection of the assets of electricity companies under your area, because we can't be everywhere at the same time. And the fact that that these facilities, infrastructure serve you, you should protect them. But maybe some people were angry that they were disconnected. During that period, they vandalized those transformers. Serious vandalization. So after they now came back that, okay, we are ready to make some payment. We now say, okay, if we can make certain payment from what you are owing, we are even ready to bear the cost of repairing those vandalized assets. But we must agree to have some certain threshold. But thankfully, so that we can cut that, thankfully, we've had a couple of meetings with the leaders in that community. Even as that last week, there was a meeting and there was a pledge that they are ready to make some payments. I'm hoping that in the next few days or in the coming weeks, we should be able to reach a compromise, and those vandalized transformers will be repaired, and then we can restore them.
I'm pleased to hear that this most recent meeting was last week.
Yes, last week.
Yes, so there is progress.
There is progress.
Hopefully,
absolutely.
sometime soon, all will be restored there.
Absolutely.
That's one part of Mr. Anonymous, is concerned. Let's look at the second one. He talked about managing a property and the prepaid meter reads negative. How does one fix that?
Well, as you all know, like with every device, because prepaid meter is a kind of device. So from time to time, you might have issue with that device. You might buy a phone and your phone will just go blank. Usually, you either take it to, if you are still within warranty, you take it back and they can replace it or repair it for you at no cost. But if you are not within the guarantee, you take it and you pay some money to repair it. So if you have a meter that is faulty, if it's within limited period of time, we go take a look at it, and if it's something that we feel that, okay, this fault was not as a result of maybe any external factor, we usually either repair that or replace it at no cost to customers. But if the fault is as a result of what we suspect to be external factor, either from the customer or from customer's electrician, so what we usually say is that, okay, this meter has been tampered with, and you need to. And the moment a meter is tampered with, that means you've affected the coordinates. It might not properly function. It's either it will underread or it will overread. In either way, it doesn't pay either of us. So we usually advise such meter should be replaced. But in his own case, he didn't explain whether people came there and said, okay, this fault was as a result of this. Another reason why is it might still have that meter and we are now charging based on estimated billing is that as we speak now, there is a scarcity of meter. Most of the maps are non-metering. So they will tell him that, okay, you know what, keep this meter until we have another meter to replace. And then they can now use your historical vending to charge you estimated
What
billing.
does that mean, historical vending?
Okay, if you have a prepaid meter, and maybe historically in the last 6 months before that meter developed fault, usually you vend 100,000, 200, or between 150,000. So, and the meter is 40, and we are yet to get another meter, and we are placing you on estimated bill. Usually, you can say, okay, this is what I use historically, and then this is what I want to be. So, it could happen that way.
So, in simple terms, that vending is the amount the person recharges
every month.
Great. All right. Just so we're very clear. I think that sort of addresses the issue of prepaid meter as well. Some persons have complained, I've been requesting for meter. What's happening with that?
Okay. Let me quickly speak to metering. About 3-4 years ago, the metering process was actually taken away from distribution company, and the NEC, that is our regulating body, actually registered what we call meter asset providers. They are the vendors who procure and install meters to distribution customers. So customers are expected to pay a lump sum to procure meters. They will pay that through their distribution company payment platform. this money in turn will go to the meter asset provider, and upon inventory, so they will install that meter. Ordinarily, all things being equal, after payment of meters, those meters are expected to be installed within your premises within 10 working days, all things being equal. So, but right now, what we have is that since the floating of Naira, the meter asset provider said that the subsisting meter fee will not work for them. So as a result of that, most meter asset providers are not metering. So we have just few who are metering customers. So we now have more demands than availability of meters. So it's taking a longer time for people who have even paid to get meters. But those who are yet to pay, now most of the discos as well as the map, they are not issuing new invoices for customers to pay. So it's like we are still having conversation now between the discos, the map, as well as the regulators and even the government itself. But what people don't realize is that a lot of people feel that okay, it is the responsibility of the disco to provide meters for them. They are actually right, because the money you're actually paying for these meters are actually going to be refunded back to you through energy credit. This order actually started last year by NEC, that if you buy meter stake, for instance, you buy a single phase meter at 84,000 naira. Over a period of time, each time you vend on your meter, a certain credit amount will be added to your token. Take for instance, this month you are vending 20,000 naira. It's possible that they will have 500 or 700 over a period of time, and after that period of time, the payment you made for that meter will be completely defrayed.
I'm sure, Lagos, you're hearing this for the very first time. The amount of money you pay to acquire your meter would come back to you in form of energy. Energy credit, if you like. So essentially, basically, you would now use that money would now come back to you in form of light that you would use, basically put. And that's frankly the first time I'm hearing that. But yeah, that said, 0909 555 1039 is the number to call. We have the general manager, communications and strategy at the Eco Electricity Distribution Company here. That's Babatunde Lasaki, discussing issues around electricity here in Lagos, and of course sharing, or rather addressing your concerns too. Let's keep the conversation going. You can call 0909 555 1039, or you call 0703 2277 to be part of the conversation. You can send a WhatsApp message or a voice note to that number as well. We're streaming on Facebook, facebook.com/FM1039 to be part of the conversation as well. Legal Counsel, it's time.
Well, I'm sure that a lot of questions have actually been, answered, especially as to the meter aspect, because some people feel that the discos do estimated billions because they can just award a prize than giving out a meter. But now you have said that, it's not even the responsibility of the discos to, do this metering. It's maps. Yes. That's the meter asset providers who now work towards giving meters to customers. That has, we clarified that gray area. But I just want to, before I ask my main question, why is it that if I purchase a meter, say for instance, for this property, I cannot use it elsewhere? Can I do that?
You cannot.
Why is it so?
Meters are installed with GPS coordinates attached to the meter number. So anything that has to do with coordinate, the moment you move it outside that coordinate, it ceases to function. It affects the functionality of the meter. But even within the same premises, if a meter is programmed to flat 1 and you move that meter to flat 3, it will distort the coordinate, and that meter will cease to function well.
Well, why is this so? Is it not? People say it's my property. I paid for it.
It's actually not your property.
It's a property of the disco.
Meters, it's a property of discos, because we are paying you back when you pay for that meter. Like I said now, so every amount you use in purchasing meters will be repaid as an energy token. So over time, that meter, you get your money back, and then that meter is an
Belongs
asset
to
of the distribution company.
So it stays with that property.
Yes.
Whether you move from that property, move with your chairs and your bed and the rest, but leave the meter.
Yes.
Alrighty then.
All right, so maybe you begin to educate our listeners as per their rights as an electricity consumer. What are my rights? If I have issues, what are the channels to complain? What are the channels to get redress? Because you see, customer is always right.
I'm sorry,
All right,
Counsel. Please just hold your thought. Let's take this call and then we'll be back. To that question.
Billy from Nigeria.
You want to say that again, please, and speak a little louder.
Billy from Nigeria. Billy.
Okay, Billy, you're welcome. Your consent.
I thank you. Well done. And I greet our experts. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
So my
Mr.
question
Dele.
is, all this complaining about the meter, I be electricity, every now and then, over 20 years. What are they telling us? Is there any solution or there is no solution? This is how we are going to continue. So now they will be telling people are paying less, but they didn't supply enough power to the people. If people have to pay more, why not make the thing done very well and have them to pay more? Like the hardship in the city now, people are still forcing themselves to go and buy fuel on their generator for power supply. And still yet, it's bringing the estimated bill without being supplied them electricity. All their grammar, I understand, I know they are experts, but if they don't have enough knowledge, if I should make this figure very, very sorry to say it, why not go and learn from the Republic? They have to force electricity, and people are paying. And they will be saying Nigerians supply them light. Why can't people go and learn from them?
All right.
I know how they make their progress. And Nigeria will still continue talking on the same,
All right, Mr. Dele.
same problem.
All right.
Why?
Thanks for your contribution. Let's allow the general manager communications respond to this now. We'll take one more. There's this question this concern shared by Mr. Thomas. We need to go back to that as well. 0909 555 1039 is the number to call, or you call 0703 227733. It's on that number to call to be part of the show. We'll address Mr. Daly and Mr. Thomas's concern in just a moment. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, someone calling back. You have not addressed my own issue.
Great. We just talked
And I
about
want
that.
and I want to know why NEPA will come to your premises to check your meter when you are busy burning your generator, there is no light. And NEPA are coming to your premises to check your meter. So everything is so annoying. Why will NEPA be coming to my premises to check meter when I'm burning busy? And after I tackled the NEPA officer that came to check our meter, I was like, this morning we didn't see any light. We are burning busy. Look how we buy this at the rate of water and 15 naira. Then for more than 5 hours, you are coming to check meter. If I was in charge of that building, I would send that man outside. I would not allow him into my if it is my own cup, I would not allow him to enter inside my community.
Right.
Honestly.
Let's get a response. Okay. Thank you so much. Hello. Good morning. Hi. Good morning. Thanks for staying on the line. What's your name?
Yes, my name is Felix. So I have two questions.
Your name is Ferdinand. Is that what you said?
Caleb.
Caleb. Where are you calling from, Caleb?
I'm calling from Lekki 1.
All right.
Yes. So, where we stay in Lekki 1, so actually I take two places. I stay in 600 Estate Babatunde, and then I stay in Lekki.
You're such a big man, Caleb.
No, not a big part, they don't do the work. So where we stay currently in Lekki 1, our transformers there will bust ourselves, right? I'm asking in regards to this credit something you mentioned. So if we're buying a data, you are getting credit, what happens? Because we are also told the transformer is not ours. We bought like 3 or 4 years ago. So we are also told that the transformers is for the government, I call it now, or a vote is not ours. So how do we get funds back from this? And secondly, in my address at our meter has been faulty for about a year and so, and we've been getting estimated bills. Up till about November, the account officer started behaving funny, He will just come and give us a bill and he'll say we will pay with the last bill. Later, he will then just come, just call any amount he likes and says we should pay by such. Of which we decided that, okay, if that's the case, we are no longer paying. That he should give us the correct bills or we are not going to pay. And they came and they disconnected our lights. Now, that forces us back to, we have to comply to what the account officer is saying in order for us to be able to get power supply. So I don't know what the GM has to do about this. Is there a new method that NEPA officers can just come and tell you a amount by word of mouth or something? Why is it so difficult to replace a meter that is faulty? Then what happens with the transformer that we bought ourselves? So those are
All right.
questions.
Caleb, we've been listening. I think the meter issue has been addressed, but we'll let Babatunde Lasaki respond to that too. Let's take some more though. Hello, good morning. Thank you, Caleb. Yeah, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi,
What
good
I
morning.
just want to say is about the payment of the meter back to we that we acquire meter. I don't think that is correct. I don't think that is correct. Because when you acquire meter, you are starting with equipment, and whenever you purchase the token, your token will be given to you, and you will see that even you are charged what is it called VAT. So how did they return the money? I don't agree with that.
We'll get clarification. There's a lot you don't definitely agree with, but that's fine. 0909-555-1039. Number to call 0703-2277-33. It's on our number to call. Let's begin with Mr. Thompson's concern.
Quickly address what the last speaker said.
Okay, fine.
As
That's
regard
fine.
that, whether he agrees with the fact that we are going to repay the meter cost or not. Like I said, this order was actually announced last year by NEC, and the implementation actually started towards the tail end of last year. Maybe he has not been checking his token receipt. It started last year, and it's possible again that this person that he's talking about, it's possible that his meter is one of those old meter. There is a certain meters that are eligible for this. If your meter is way above 10 years, or maybe it's all those conlog meters, you might not benefit from this. But for those who bought their meters in the last 2-3 years, these are people that this will impact on. Because majority of people, the meters they actually use are not paid for. They are beneficiary of those NMMP meters, the meters that were distributed freely by the government, which started in 2020 up to 2022.
Yeah.
But for those who paid for their meters in the last 2-3 years, this order was kicked in last year, and implementation started around November or thereabout. So some discos actually did not start the implementation of the repayment until even this year. But I can assure you that couple of discos have started the implementations. We have started. I know some of our other sister discos have started as well. So it's actually true. When you pay for a token, if you pay for 10, you can actually calculate the number, because the amount you are supposed for your token is there. You can calculate it. Okay, this is the actual number, actual unit I'm supposed to get. Okay, where is this extra coming from? You ask us, and you can see that it's actually done. So that is by that. I would like to address the customer that called from Lekki, that a co-star will just come and call a random figure that this is what you need to pay. You see, we've said it in almost all our platforms. You are not to pay any amount that you don't agree with. And why even paying a certain amount when you don't have a bill? You only pay your bill with the presentation of a bill to you. If you don't have a bill, then you don't have to, because if you're already on estimated billing, every month you'll be issued a bill. And when you are issued a bill, you see the amount you are supposed to pay there. Maybe current charges is 100,000 naira. Except if you have outstanding, you see current charges, and then you have outstanding bill. Maybe, and then the next total bill, maybe it's 120,000. It's good for you to clear your bill so that you won't have any outstanding. And even if you get a bill, if I'm on prepaid meter, maybe in the last 3 months, and my prepaid meter is 40, and you start giving me 150,000 naira, and I used to load 100,000 on my meter, and I don't even exhaust that 100, I can actually contest that bill.
So these are some of the rights of
Yes,
the
you can
consumer.
contest the bill. Just right. A lot of people complain, but they don't follow it up. You can complain and talk to your colleagues, talk to your neighbors, but it doesn't get to me when you don't write officially to me that I'm contesting this bill. If you contest your bill, send it to the nearest office to you. If you're not getting any joy there, escalate it to the district office, that is the bigger one within your district. And if you don't get, you can now escalate to the head office. You can do that through our social media platform or through our customer care emails. And this will be picked up. So these are different ways people can do that. But a lot of people always complain, just like Mr. Thomas too. Mr. Thomas said, okay, you get estimated billing. Estimated billings, a lot of customers feel that this could just sit down and ask, okay, because I don't like Kingsley, I'm going to charge Kingsley 200,000. And because lawyer is a learned friend, I'm going to charge him 50,000. No, that's not the way it works. There's a parameter and there's a methodology approved by a regulating body that this is how you should charge customers who are on estimated billing. You can't go outside of that methodology. And these are things that regulating body always check from time to time. And you have found one thing. In the last few weeks, there was a announcement that most discos we overbilled some of our customers and we are asked to refund. These are part of the parameters to actually see that customers are actually billed accurately, commensurate to what they are actually using, especially those who are on estimated billing. For those who are on prepaid meter, you don't have such problem. Even when you don't have energy power, it's when you have power that you consume the token on your meter. So that is what I want customers. If you are contesting your bill, you feel that this bill that you are giving me is not commensurate to what I'm consuming, you are at liberty to contest that by writing to your district.
Which are they to pay for?
You see, ordinarily, when you are contesting your bill, so that you don't want to say I've not paid, because when you are giving a bill, you are expected to pay within 7 days, after which you will be served disconnection notice. So in the event that, okay, you don't want that, you can still contest that bill, but you can say, okay, let me pay 50% of this bill.
Sorry, please.
Of the current bill.
Okay.
Pay the 50%, but you now contest it. And then most of the time we will review this bill and you find out that, we've actually overbilled this customer and we'll reconcile it.
Much clearer.
Legal counsel was going to talk about the rights of customers and the channels. I think it's a fine time to talk about. You said if you want to contest the bill, especially, of course, the estimated bill, and you have concerns in general, address that. How do they do that?
Like I said, it's always good to write email because you can have trail. So email is customercare@ekdp.com. That is the general email. For each district, they have customercare@lekki@ekdp.com. But the general one is customercare@ekdp.com. This one will come to HQ. And most time when it gets to HQ like that, we can now send it to different districts. That, okay, this is your customer, address it, because most of these are actually localized issue. So they address it at different districts. And then you can escalate that to our X platform at EKDP, or you go to our Facebook, Eco Electricity, or Instagram at EKDPNG, or you can call directly to our customer care line, which is 070-806-71170 or 0700-123-5366.
I want to take that again,
okay,
and a bit slowly because of the listeners.
070-806-71170 or 0700-123-5366, or you write directly to customercare@ekdp.com.
Alrighty then, you got the channels. If you have complaints, aside having the general manager communications and strategy here talking to us this morning to address those concerns, you can as well do so, especially if you have complex concerns. You want to contest those bills. Well, I think Caleb mentioned something like that. Let's address Caleb's concern too. I think you've addressed a part of that. Yeah, already.
About transformer. Spoke about that.
Oh, yes. You see, most of the time, when communities request for either extra transformer, because most of the time when we install transformer in a certain community, it is based on expected maximum load demand, and over time that community maybe continue to expand, and such transformer will now be overloaded, And the moment a transformer is overloaded, you start having constant trip off, constant load shedding and all that. And then some people, loss of phase and low voltage. It keep happening because that transformer is overstretched and overloaded. So such community will now write to us that, oh, this transformer can no longer serve our demands. Okay, and then we need additional transformer so that we can break the load and the 2 transformer we carried. So when they write, almost every community write from time to time. Some is not as if it's really overloaded, but they just feel that if you have extra, it will help us. In the event that you have hundreds communities asking for transformer, we don't store this transformer in our store. So it's availability. If you have transformer in the store, we install to those communities on need basis. But at times when some community requests for additional transformer like that, and you tell them, okay, we've taken note of your complaint, we are working on it, we get transformer to you. You go through the process of applying for new transformer, getting approval, asking your vendors to procure and bring it. Some community will tell you that we can't wait for this stretch of time. So we are ready to provide one for us. We always say that it is not the responsibility of the customers to provide any electrical equipment or infrastructure for a distribution company. But when you on your own decide to say, okay, we want to buy, we see such as a donation to the disco. It's a donation. Usually we tell you that you have to write that you are donating it to us because of such this. You are a legal person, you know what we are talking about. If you don't do that, people will come around that, okay, we bought this at so amount, you need to refund. We don't want to do that. So if you say your community decide on your own not to wait for us to change that your transformer or to give you additional transformer, and you are buying on your own, that is at your own discretion. It is not as if the ECO is asking you go and buy it yourself. What we are saying is that give us some more time, we get it to you. But they say no, we can't wait for more time, we can afford to buy it. You buy it, you give it to us, it's seen as donation.
So does this also apply to like poles, cables that customers or consumers buy? Maybe the pole fell down and it got broken, and maybe while waiting, and you know they have to be connected, they have to be with power, but they felt, oh, we can go out of our way.
I would like to say this now, that we've announced that no customer should contribute to buy pole or cable. We don't entertain that here. If anybody within our staff are asking you to do that, they're actually breaching the policy of the company.
Will you have to, will you also go the extra mile to punish that your staff?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You see, the another challenge we have with some customers is that customers, when they collude with our staff and the staff is helping them in a way that actually favors them, they will not report such staff.
Sure.
Whereas the moment it turn around and it affect them, they will start. Most of the time when customer complains that, oh, my staff is asking you to pay, we always ask them, can you give me the name of such staff, or ask for such staff ID, take the picture of that and send it to me. All right. But many of them say, no, I don't want to name name. If you don't name, how do I sanction people? How do I deter other people from doing it?
But you know, it is expected that you send a certain number of staff this direction.
Absolutely.
And you should know.
No, like I can have maybe about 10 staff attending to a certain area, and you are telling me that one of your staff demand money from me. Out of 10 staff, am I going to assume that?
So you have to be specific.
You need to be specific, because we always ask that anytime our staff are going to any area, they wear your coverall, your ID. You can actually see their name. You can take pictures. Even if you don't know their name, take the picture. In this age, you can take picture with your smartphone and say, this is the staff I'm talking about. If such staff does not have his ID, and then we can, okay, I know this person. So that's the thing. But customers at times don't come out.
All right, we'll take some more calls and concerns from the listener in just a moment, but we need to address this for many persons. And please pardon me. I'm done with calls, so yes, you can see the variation in the voice. But we need to address this, and it's very important. There are those who believe that. Oh, okay, we'll address this in a moment. Let's take this call first. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bassey.
Yes, good morning.
And then, good morning to Mr. J.
Good morning, sir.
My own concern is this. We have some issues in my area. eventually the issue of meter first. A lot of people that have had a meter before 2020, we pay for our meter, and in fact, they even force us to pay additional money for a brand new house that has never used meter before, as energy using before. We did that. That one is gone. But if they want to remove the meter now, I don't think they are telling us that we should come and pay for another meter again. I think the NEPA should be able to give us the meter. That is one. Secondly is this. These people, some of these NEPA officials, they are very, very over serious. Let me tell you a scenario that happened in my house. Two of them came to come and check my meter. I sat down. They didn't know I was filming them. I was filming them with my phone, but I sat down. One of them pulled out the seal, pulled the seal off, and then he came out. He said, "My seal has pulled out. That I tampered with the meter." And I said, "How?" Somebody came yesterday from your head and checked. Now you said it's pulled out, and I said, "It will prove it." And you want to move out? I blocked them. I said, "You will not move. I feel you. As you are pulling the seal, I pull you. Just to call the matter short, because I feel them. Because I feel them, they have to come back because I escalated it. The people from the community came out, and I'm saying it. They have to come and pay the seal back. Suppose I wasn't there. Suppose I didn't feel them. These people will say, I'm the one that put us the seal. So some of them are overseeing us, so the manager should take note of that. Another thing is this: when you are asking, our transformer is bad. For how long should we wait for? Because in my own community also, for more than 2 years, we wrote. Nothing come forth. How long should we wait for? And then we need life. When your people now came, okay, if you can do it like this, will you say no? When we have waited more than 2 years and nothing come forth, that is it. Even in the area of cabling, we just cable ourselves. Because we waited, we have to buy the cable. Right. And your staff now came back and fill it. So how long, when we make a request, that is my great question now. So how long should we wait?
All right.
Before we block your people, and your people are the one that will suggest what we should do for us when we need the light. Thank you very much.
Let's get a response, including from this one. Hello, good morning. Yes.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Thomas calling back from Victoria Island.
All right, Thomas.
Let me talk on what the Mr. Jian's word that Mr. Jian said. Mr. Jian said, if an estimated bill is given to you and you are not okay with it, you can pay 50% off. And you can keep contest for your bid, and if they review, we go through the bid. And if they notice that you we are overbidding, they will make a refund. That overbidding they have already questioned the credibility of the bid. Because why must they be overbidding for the first place? It's not like I can announce somebody that you want to announce and say if you are not okay with it, you should go to court. So if you go to court, if you didn't get justice, you take it like that. So why must they be overbidding for the first place? It has already questioned the credibility of the bidding.
All right.
We want not the right thing to do. We don't want to do it. We just be speaking grammar and just speak grammar more than any other country in the world.
All right, let's get a response from Babatunde Lasaki. Thank you so much for that. 0909-555-1039, number to call, and 0703-227733. It's another number to call. You see that this conversation or the show, the Love Morning Show, has extended just for a bit to address these concerns, which shows the Love 103.9 is very concerned about your plight, especially at this time, and that's why we're having this conversation. We'll just take a few more and then we'll address all of them together. Okay, so let's address these two from Thomas and from the caller before the last one, who was particularly concerned about how long communities have to wait to get those transformers fixed.
Well, as a matter of fact, there's actually no time lag. But ordinarily, when the transformer is bad, like I said, it's subject to availability. There's some community that when their transformer is reported as being bad, and they'll report to us at the HQ, and we check the store, and we have available transformers. Within weeks, they get that sorted. But at times, maybe it happens that we have couple of transformer getting bad at the same time, and we don't have enough transformer to replace those faulty ones, you could have maybe a longer waiting time. So there is no really timeline, but I don't expect any community to be out for more than 3 months. The challenge at times is that some community, when they're out, they don't actually follow the right channel to actually communicate that. And at times, some community, they just say, okay, the transformer is out. Maybe it's not as if the entire transformer is out, it's faulty. And because they feel that, oh, maybe it's something that we should know, you need to actually escalate, because we still don't have technology to see whether your transformer is working perfectly or not, but you live within that axis, and we expect some of our key staff to check from time to time. And it's possible that a transformer is actually working well, maybe, but there is a cable fault that is not actually passing supply to household, but they might not see that. So usually what we tell people is that the moment you notice that, oh, I used to have supply and I don't have supply, even after 2 days, you should escalate. Maybe there is a fault, except there is a general fault. No household should be without supply for 48 hours at stretch, except there is a fault. So the moment you notice that I've not had light for 72 hours, there is a fault or there is a general issue. So you escalate. And usually, how do you escalate? It is not just by telling your neighbor. We usually have closer offices, zonal offices close to you. Just go there, get your transformer name, and oh, our transformer, we've not had light for this, and they'll take note of that. And you will see that you are ensure that each time you go to escalate at our office, make sure the customer service actually record that and give you number.
A tracking number.
A tracking number that, okay, this has been reported. They call it case number. And then you can use that case number to track. Even when you want to escalate to HQ, you can quote that and forward that thing to us, and we can actually look. And so this has been reported so period. Why is it taking this forever? I've had instances whereby some customer escalates some faults to me or some complaints to me, maybe in January, and I realize that, oh, this has actually been reported since last 2 months. And the moment I get that, I escalate it to the relevant authority, and within days, this is sorted. But because people complain verbally, they are not recorded. So we don't have it in our record that there is a fault there. That is for the fault. So we don't really have timeline. The moment you notice, escalate. Let's ensure that this is reported in official manner and in a written where you can track it. That is it. As for meters, say that, oh, why do we overbill in the first place? That is why it's called estimated billing. When you say something is estimated, you are guesstimating it. Most time, some customers will get higher than what they've consumed. Most time, some customers will get lower. So, but we understand that the methodology for this is that if I have a transformer B serving a street of 100 households, and out of that 100 household, I have 60 customers who are on prepaid meter. So, and at the end of the month, I supply them 1,000 energy megawatts. And I know that those who have prepaid meter, they've consumed 600 out of that 1,000. Maybe per chance, I have key customer group who are on maximum demand. That's okay. They have a meter that we check. They pay their own. We factor that out. So maybe we now have 200 megawatt hour that is left. That 200 megawatt, there's a methodology by NEC that's capping. So you now look at it and then you distribute it to them. It's possible that I distribute to this person based on that capping method. You might be living in the same premises, but it's possible that you actually consume more. You have a lot more gadgets, but because you have the same level of building, maybe you are living in 2-bedroom flat, I might just assume because you live there, based on the capping, I just give you guys the same amount based on the remaining one, because that's what capping says that after the so. But you not come out, but no, even though I live in a 3 or 4 bedroom apartment, this is what I use. I just have a fan. Maybe it's a retiree that doesn't even use AC. AC might be installed, and then when you come forward and you contest it, at times we have to send some of our engineers to go there and do inventory, and they look at it, oh, this man actually did not consume this man, and then we reverse such, we reconcile it.
One key lesson here: contest it when you don't feel like this is comfortable, when you feel like it is too much. All right, let's address this and then we can close the conversation. There are those who believe that in terms of this NEPA wahala, that NEPA is in some, collusion with fuel stations,
And
especially
generator.
and generator companies, especially at night. That there's a deliberate thing that this, that you do,
Even in this heat.
especially now that everywhere is so hot, that you now deliberately take light at night, just 6 power at night, so that we'll be forced to go and buy fuel. If I don't have a gen before, I'll be forced to go and buy a gen, and then go to the nearest fuel station to power my gen. You want to address this?
Well, first and foremost, there's nothing like part with gen companies or filling stations. Why would we want to do that? Because when you do that, you're actually asking them to take your revenue. I would rather provide electricity to my customer so that the money they are using to buy fuel, they will pay it to me. But what people don't realize is that if you live in a residential apartment area, if your apartment is in a residential, predominantly residential area, it is expected that at night, the demand for supply, the demand for power will be higher because everybody wants to come back home, sleep, you want to put on your AC, you want to put on your fan. So the demand will be higher. And because of the constraint we get from the grid, I might not be able to provide the maximum demand you require at that point in time. So you're bound to have some load shedding. Okay, this area, I can't give them. Maybe you require 500 at night. Maybe I can only give you 100 or 200 because there are other areas I need to. It's the same. That's the way it works. It's not as if deliberate. It's because the higher the demand, many people want to use it. It's just like if you pass through Third Mainland, when Third Mainland they're not working on it in the afternoon, it's free. You can go from Lekki to Ikeja between 1 and 2 and spend maybe 30 minutes because many people are not using that road. But if you go from 5, because majority of people are using the road, they are going home, you see the heavy traffic. It's the same way. When we all retire at home, we want to put on all our gadgets. So the demands become very high and it spikes. During the day, some people tell you that, we've had light since morning, because how many people are using that light?
But just in addition to that, Mr. GM, you also agree with me that some estates in Lekki, as this, I don't want to mention in Agungi, towards downwards, VGC, they enjoy almost uninterrupted power. Are we not saying that, or is it because they are maybe in a highbrow area and that your top-notch customers are considering other people who stay in towns, even in the same Agungi or Ajiro or Sakpa London, but they don't have power? Maybe you might want to clarify on that area as well.
I spoke about banding system in tariff. So that's what we call the highest band of tariff is band A. Those who are on band A, naturally they pay more than those who are on band B, and then those who are on band
Even
E.
on prepaid.
Even on prepaid. It's normal. So when you're on band A, if your tariff is on band A, you are expected to have minimum of 20 hours. At times you can have 24 when things are normal. If you're on band C, you have 12 hours. And it keep going down like that. So if you're on band D, maybe you just expect to have 8 hours, all things being equal. When things are not equal, you might have maybe 2 hours. So that is it. Another thing is that what a lot of people don't understand is the feeder feeding certain area is another function.
What do you mean by feeder now?
Okay, it's like a bigger transformer. So that's why some people will say that, I live in the same area with this person. How come this person is getting more power and these people are not getting more power? You see, there are some people that maybe by virtue of where they live, they are very close to people who are on what they call priority feeder. Because there are some people on priority feeder, they come for us, okay, we want you to place on priority feeder. We pay extra because what we do, we need
maybe an industrial area.
Maybe industrial area or maybe an hospital, and they will rather look at it rather than buy diesel. Let me say, okay, rather than paying 72 naira, I'm ready to pay you 150. And then you put me on priority feeder. So when they're on priority feeder, because it is not just that building or the company that requested for, the people who live close to them will enjoy that as well. They might not even pay as much as that company, but the fact that they live within that, they enjoy it. And the people that will live maybe the next street, they might think, it's the same area, but it's not the same feeder that feed them. They have different feeder, and it's possible that their own feeder is actually on band C, and that one is on band A priority. So naturally, it might just be a street separating you. You can still start wondering that what's happening. Like I said, it's still business. Even though NEC has come now that they want all the discos to start the process of moving customers from band EDC to B, so that majority of the customer will be on band AB. But even when we move them, there's still other factors. Do we have enough allocation from the grid to serve these customers? That is one. Forget about the issue of saying, okay, we have the capacity to pay. I can tell you that it is not everybody who have the capacity to pay. I've had instances where some customers will say, okay, we are on band D now, can you move us to band B? And we look at their payment history. You look at, you're on band D, you are not even paying. Your revenue, your collection efficiency in that area is just about 50%. You that are on 50% at band D, if you move you to band B, maybe you now slip to 30%. You need to factor all that before you can say, okay, these people, we are able to move them.
All right, this is Law FM 103.9. You've been listening to the Law FM Morning Show. We've had a very special guest in the building this morning, the General Manager, Communications and Strategy at Eco Electricity Distribution Company. He's been here, talking to us about your concerns for as regards electricity in the country. Babatunde Lasaki has been here since, and we'll be talking about this. So Lagos, we've got to close right now. In closing, let's talk about your message to your customers, right? My experience as a broadcaster, we've been talking about conserving energy, the use of power, right? That's been a major challenge in the country. I think that I don't know, pardon me, we're so spoiled, that we don't know how to use power. What's your message to your customers in general? And then just speak to energy conservation as well.
Well, even though we don't have enough generating megawatts, but it's still important that when people are leaving their household, they should switch off all appliances, actually unplug it. Because when you don't unplug and you switch off, that's appliances is still generating some level of electricity, and this could affect your bill at the end of the month. You might say, but I've been out, but those appliances are plugged in. You see, we've had instances where people say, I've traveled for 2 months, why are you giving me this bill? But you have all your appliances plugged, you are still going to get billed for that. So people should learn how to. Majority of people, when they're on estimated billing, because it's estimated, they just put on every appliances, they put on all the bulbs, and they don't even use energy saving bulb. And these are the same people, when you now give them bill, they contest it. But those people, the moment they migrate from estimated billing to prepaid meter, they will now complain that, I loaded 10,000 within 2 days, it's finished. It's because the attitude is still, when I use estimate. That's why I said some people now will rather remain on estimated billing. In all these things we are talking, because it favors them. Because they are being overbilled, it favors them. So, but the moment they move to prepaid and they are actually being, they recharge based on what they consume, they see that, I've actually been underpaying these people. But they won't say it, you won't hear that. So people should learn to be very conservative in terms of conserving energy. And then, if you are not using any appliances, there's no point leaving it on, so that it impacts on your billing and it impacts on what you pay every month. But most importantly, I would like to tell our customers that at a Eco Electricity Distribution Company, it is our desire that at some point very soon we'll be able to provide to all our customers, irrespective of where they are, minimum of 20 hours of supply on a daily basis. We get there. It's a journey. We are not where we want to be as a company. But I can tell you that as an organization, we keep evolving every day. We are moving. We are no longer where we used to be. And I'm hoping that with us working together with our customers, cooperate. We are always open to feedback. Come back to us. We are willing to listen to you on how best to serve you and how to improve our services. And then let's pray that the more we are able to generate energy for the country and improve our capacity, we get more in terms of allocation from the grid, and we'll be able to serve our customer a lot more better. Because at EcoDisco, it is our responsibility to serve our customer, because we are there to empower the quality of lives of our customers.
Babatunde Lasaki, General Manager, Communications and Strategy at Eco Electricity Distribution Company. Thank you so much for being on the program today, the Love Morning Show, for taking your time to respond to questions and concerns of our dear listeners. We appreciate you too for being there and for popping those questions and not holding back. I see what you do with how you come at Babatunde Lasaki with those questions. Thank you as well. Thank you again, General Manager, for coming.
Thank you very much for having me, Kingsley, and our legal advice, Felix.
Alrighty, there you go. That's the conversation. The Open Mic Friday edition of the show extended a bit today, understandably so. We say so sorry to those who might have been waiting for the palliative show to come up. Well, there is no better palliative this first day in the month of March than this that we've given you. All right, so we'll just draw the curtains here and say again one more time, thank you for being a part of the show. What a good way to begin the month of March 2024. Kingsley, Bassey is my name.
And my name is Felix Uzoma.
Let's begin the week end with this one. Adekule Gold is titled Eco. I mean, we're talking about Eco, right? Good morning to you, Lagos, and bye for now.